play Tex Murphy, Martian Memorandum. Take us away, music for Tex Murphy, Martian Memorandum. Do 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 do. It sounds kind of like a spooky TV special or something. Last time on Tex Murphy, Martian Memorandum, I went to a remote outpost and found a rocket pack and flew back to a casino. And then I decided I should go to a temple. But I'm sure this is a very helpful synopsis of what's happened thus far. But I'm trying to solve a series of murders that began with the person who hired me and has taken me all the way to Mars in this noirish point-and-click adventure game from 1991. Honeywell Security Control. Alright, the doorway is deeply recessed, it's dark and foreboding. Alright. Ah, there is a man here. Or two men here, actually. Alright, what are these? Are these mirrors? Highly polished mirror made of Martian crystal. Okay. Let's try moving it. Not close enough. Oh boy. You have to get close. I don't want them to hear me. Not when my footsteps are so loud. Listen to that. That guy has some loud footsteps. The mirror quietly slides along. Okay. So, what now? Will they see me if I... No. Good, good. Alright. Let's move this one. Okay. What Wizard says? Mars crystal, way cooler than Earth crystal. I'm sure it is. Alright, so... What's this? There's something leaning against the pillar here. Large metal pole with cup on the end used to put out the large torches around the temple. Okay. Can I move that? The extinguisher falls, landing with an almost deafening ring. The bad guy turns and fires his laser at the sound. Oops. That guy isn't around anymore. Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna save here, I guess. Just to... Hopefully this other individual does not give me any trouble, since I killed the guy with the gun. Hawk. Deacon Hawk may have been a high priestess, but she looks more like a goddess. In her late 20s, she is tall, almost 6 feet. Her hair is very white and as thick as rope. It trails down her shoulders and back. Her sensuality is so intense. I can practically feel her heart beating from where I am. She is clad in a shimmering red ceremonial gown, a striking contrast against her unblemished skin. Like fine porcelain, her skin reflects the light, making her almost luminous. Her red lips are very full, and her azure blue eyes glisten, and through them to the very depths of her, I see a fire smoldering, smoky, and hot. The light
has returned. Now I must give the knowledge you seek.
Oh my, so they finally brought back voice actors. Good. So what can you tell me about Marshall Alexander? Marshall Alexander of Collier Stanton was a brilliant scientist. His lust for the power of the stone, however, drove him to commit genocide. Absolute power has that effect on people. Alexander was a highly intelligent man who learned to use the stone at an extremely limited level. Even at that level, look at all he accomplished. Alright, what can you tell me about Alexis Alexander, his daughter? Marshall Alexander's daughter arrived a short time ago. She contacted several people and then disappeared. I believe she is now being held against her will. One person I know may help you locate Alexis. His name is Cooper Bradbury. Cooper Bradbury? Could he be related to Ray Bradbury, the science fiction author from the 20th century who wrote Fahrenheit 451? It's anyone's guess now. I guess I should ask her about Cooper Bradbury. There you go. Cooper Bradbury. Bradbury is the leader of the mutant faction on Mars. He is not popular with the authorities. If you find him, he could help you locate Alexis Alexander. That's nice. What Wizard says, this game has a way with names. What Wizard, I suspect you probably want me to ask Deacon about Johnny Fedora. I don't know anything about that. Alright. Can you tell me anything about the Oracle Stone? The stone is the last remaining gift of a mighty and noble race, which was destroyed by an astonishing disaster that ripped away the Martian atmosphere 80 million years ago. On the day of their annihilation, the gift was put in a protective enclosure until it could be awakened by intelligent beings in the future. Something must have gone wrong, for man discovered it. The Martians were a kind and benevolent race. They would not understand the beast of hatred and destruction in the subconscious of human minds. Man's own intelligence is too underdeveloped to use the full power of the stone. But if a machine is developed to amplify the brainwave patterns to the stone, the beast inside man's subconscious would be released to create destruction on a galactic scale. Needless to say, this wouldn't be a good thing. Alright. Can you tell me anything about yourself, Ms. Deacon? If I can find you on here. Are you not on here, or am I just dumb and not seeing you? Mac Malden, Lyle Percival, Rick, Ferris Collette, Guy Calavero, Thomas, Jane, Dick, Rocky, Deacon Hawk. You have returned the light of my adversary's weapon to save me, and I am in your debt. Big Dick's men were after the stone. It has been foretold that you are the one to retrieve the stone or die trying. Really, it was foretold that if you recover it, it must be returned to me for safekeeping. You will need something in your quest. Search the ruins of the colonist camp. Here's the location. Oh, thank you. I now have a location for the colonist camp. Cool. Well, I think I'm done talking to you, Ms. Hawk. Have a pleasant rest of the day here in this old, abandoned temple. Right. Let's save. And let's travel. What the hell was Deacon Hawk talking about? What did she mean my coming was foretold? And that business about the light. Only when the light returns will she give me information. What kind of light? One thing's for sure. She knows what's going on around here. I don't know why that's for sure. Alright, so I need to go now to the colonist ruins that Deacon foretold, so let's try to find those. Colonist camp. Is it the colonist camp? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think it's the colonist camp. Okay. The site where the Martian colonists were massacred by the Stanton expedition is still preserved. I walk slowly by blown-out homes and playgrounds as the wind whistles eerily through the twisted wreckage. All right. Child sand pail. HCl2 acid in a glass tube. Huh. I guess I'll take that. You carefully take the acid. What's this? What's this? You can't take that. Alright. Alright, what's this? What's this? Tail fin of a heat-seeking missile. Alright. Can I move it? You push the metal aside. Cool, what's that? It is a small wooden 7.62mm ammo box. I guess I'll take that. I can't take the box? Why can't I take this 62 electrosonic fusion-powered tuning fork designed to protect bulletproof glass? Can I take that? You take the tuning fork. Oh, that's good. All right. Anything else around here of import? Can I move this thing? Move the scrap metal slightly. Doesn't seem to do anything. Alright, let's meet up with Bradley Erickson. Maybe he can tell me something about Cooper Bradley. Since they're both mutants. Really showing my prejudice there against mutants, I guess. Off a dirty street down a short alley, I find the address for Brad Erickson. I push the buzzer. No answer. I knock on the door for a while, and a light goes on. The door slides open, and a figure stands quietly, staring at me. His looks even shock me a bit. Maybe he'd been struck by something thrown from a passing aircraft, because Brad Erickson appears in this light to be 6 feet of breathing, walking vomit. What can I do for you? Can you tell me about Cooper Bradbury? If I can find his name on this long list of names. Okay, Cooper Bradbury. Cooper is a militant freak who thinks the freaks are the rightful heirs to Mars. He'd been a friend of mine since I was a kid. If you want to talk to him, try this address in the mutant sides of Marinaris City. Alright, I'll try it. Cooper Bradley. Bradley Erickson had given me a hot tip on the whereabouts of Cooper Bradley. Brad had told me about an alley in Freaktown near the radioactive slag heap. Stepping from behind a street lamp, Bradbury is the king of freaks. Radiation had done its job on this guy. His huge concave forehead is covered with the green fungus that grows from the thousands of tiny holes that were left in his head after his hair dropped out. His nose is like a sow's. You could stare straight into his head through it. His eyes are wide, set in mongoloid in appearance. Ugh. His teeth would look good on a 12-year-old horse if he hadn't been missing the front two. What can I do for you? Alright, Cooper Bradley. Tell me about the Oracle Stone. That Martian stone should be ours, Murphy, and I'm prepared to pay handsomely for it. The first settlers on the planet were outcasts, and Alexander killed people like us for it. We deserve the stone and the right to this planet. Mars is our home. To us, Earth is just a nice place to visit. People like you and the others should go back to Earth. We'd prefer to push all the norms of our world. The stone will help us do that. If you get the stone, you'd better make sure it comes to us. You won't get off Mars alive. Alright. Good to know. Can you tell me about Alexis Alexander, the woman I am currently searching for? Marshall Alexander's daughter? I don't have any idea where she is, and we have sources everywhere. Maybe she isn't on Mars anymore. Perhaps she got back to Earth. Alright. Can you tell me anything about Thomas Dangerfield? Thomas Dangerfield. I've got an idea where you'll find Thomas Dangerfield. It's rumored he is building some machine in the caverns near the Terraform power plant, but knowing where he might be is not enough. It seems he's figured out the ancient Martian interlocking mechanism. No one can get into the cavern without a device for the mechanism. But here's the location. Well, thank you. I don't know. Can you tell me anything about Bradley, or not Bradley Erickson, but Marshall Alexander, the guy who hired me in the first place? Word has spread fast on Alexander. We have found out he obtained the stone. He's oppressed us for years, making us his servants and breaking promises. He was always able to thwart our plans, and now we know why. Through the Oracle Stone, he could anticipate our movements and read our thoughts. Alright, well, I think I'm going to head over to that cave you told me about. The coordinates for Thomas Dangerfield are near the mouth of a large cavern, about 2 kilometers from the power plant. I enter the opening and find a set of stairs winding down inside the mountain. The stairs seem endless, but eventually I find myself in a narrow corridor. Alright, now inside a narrow corridor. I guess I should probably save my game. I'll save it as Bigger. Short for Bigger Dick. Alright. Okay, so... Hope there aren't any booby traps here, like there were in the in that annoying jungle area. Oh hey, there's a pretty unusual looking door here. That doesn't open. That doesn't open. Alright, do I have a key? An interlock key, perhaps? You insert the card into the slot. Nice. What Wizard says, does your character have a limp? Or is that just the walk cycle? I guess if you wanted to be generous, you could maybe interpret it as him having a limp, but I'm not entirely sure. Not a good move. The door slams shut behind me. Oh hey, is this Alexis? Hey Alexis. What's up? I won't know until... There we go. In a shaky voice, she responds. Alexis Alexander stands there nervously, staring at me with huge fawn-like eyes. Her hair is the gold of old paintings and is tousled enough, but not too much. Her face is strong but beautiful. She has a full set of curves which nobody had been able to improve on. She is frightened, but it looked as if she could smile easily. Her eyes are crystal blue and clear. Her mouth is large and sensual. What do you want? Tell me about Marshall Alexander. They tell me he's dead. I feel badly because he was my father. But he wasn't a good man. I never knew about my father's past. He was cruel to those around him, but he always was good to me. Then I found out that his real name was Collier Stanton. Oh, I guess Collier Stanton and Marshall Alexander were really the same guy. The man who massacred that colony. I wanted to hurt him. I knew stealing the stone would get back at him. Can you tell me anything about... Collier Stanton. Collier Stanton and my father were the same person. After the massacre, he returned to Earth and he was imprisoned, but escaped after the D-Day attack. He changed his appearance and became Marshall Alexander. He built an empire on the blood of those early Martian settlers. The Oracle Stone gave him a certain power. Alright. What else should I ask you about? Can you tell me anything about the Stanton expedition? The Stanton expedition came to the planet to do a feasibility study for mining the pure silicon on the planet. My father was the leader. He found out about the stone and devised a plan to get the stone away from the colonists. Alright. Can you tell me about the Oracle Stone? Rick told me about the Oracle Stone. My father murdered for. He said it was a rare artifact that must be returned to the families of those who found it. The night I disappeared, I found the combination to the safe and stole the stone. I arranged to meet Rick. He sent me to Mars with it and said he would meet up with me later. Can you tell me about Rick Logan? He's a dirty louse. Thomas Dangerfield told me he used Rick to seduce me and trick me into stealing the Oracle Stone from my father. How could I have been so stupid as to fall for a creep like that? Tell me about this Dangerfield guy. He sounds a bit dangerous, perhaps? He's out of his mind. He says the Oracle Stone will allow him to do and get whatever he wants. He's built some machine and says it will magnify the power of the stone to an incredible level. Alright, can you tell me about Deacon Hawk? I don't know anything about that. What else can you tell me about? Man, menus. Very irritating. Tell me about Johnny Fedora. Fedora found out that my father's real name was Stanton. When Fedora tried to blackmail him, my father had him killed. There you go, What Wizard, we found out something about Johnny Fedora. What else can I ask you about? Dick Castro. Tell me about Big Dick Castro. I hung out at his place once in a while. Alright. Not super informative. I asked you about the Oracle Stone already, didn't I? Rick told me about the Oracle Stone my father murdered. Oh yeah, I did. Alright. Cooper Bradbury. Can you tell me where I can find Cooper Bradbury? I don't know anything about that. Okay. Alright. What Wizard says, Coops Bradbury, they call me. Alright, I'm gonna save my game, I think. As bigger. Agent Cooper Bradbury. A large cement patch has been trawled into the wall. Can I open it? That doesn't open. Well, can I open the door? Nice try. Several form-fitting mini-skirts, some working out clothes, and a few casual outfits hang by a chromium rod. Ooh, can I take the rod? You yank the rod from its setting. Thanks for the rod, I guess, Alexis. Alright, can I break this plaster with the rod? I'll have to get closer. Oh. Usually when it says that, it's the right answer. Is this close enough for you? You pound on the concrete until it's cleared away. A thick metal plate has been recently bolted into place here. Can I open the thick metal plate? That doesn't open. What if do I have like a screwdriver or anything? I have tools. That doesn't do any good. How about a... picnic card. HCl2, how about that? You pour the acid and watch as it eats a hole through the metal. Alright. The button controls the electric door. Nice. You move the button just as the sweet smell of gas enters your nose. The light begins to darken, darken, darken. Uh-oh. When Alexis and I come to, we find ourselves in a small chamber surrounded by a mesh force field. I can't stick my finger through the mesh, but that's about it. A deranged old man comes out of a booth. He walks up to us looking like the cat who swallowed the canary. Hello, Mr. Murphy. I am Dr. Thomas Dangerfield. Allow me to fill you in on the details of my great conspiracy. Oh, thank you. I am the only member of the Stanton expedition who tried to stop the slaughter of the blah blah blah. For that, I was beaten, tortured, and left for dead, but being a superior intellect, I willed myself to survive. I spent the next 20 years searching for Collier Stanton. 8 years ago, I saw a family photo of Marshall Alexander, and realized that Stanton had not died in the D-Day attack, and had transformed himself into Marshall Alexander. Many times, and in many ways, I tried to get at that fiend, but his security was too tight, too good. But at long last I devised a plan of genius worthy of my revenge. I have hired Rick Logan to seduce Alexander's daughter, Alexis, and convince her to steal the Oracle Stone. Using Johnny Fedora and Nathan Bloodworth, I lured Alexander out of his protective web by offering that pathetic fool the hope of getting back the stone. Bloodworth executed Stanton, and with his debt finally paid, I went for the stone. The fool Rick Logan tried to double-cross me and market the stone himself. I left him and his ambitions hanging. I found Alexis and the stone on Mars and had them brought to me. Having studied ancient Martian cultures for years, I was prepared to interpret the stone. I did so completely. The stone had been developed by an ancient and highly sophisticated civilization. The stone acts as a conductor between solid matter and the electromagnetic impulses of the brain. Truly a stone to make dreams come true. It provided that substance or matter for the impulse provided by the brain. Martians created the stone to free themselves from the rigors of technology and labor. Unhappily, humans have only been able to generate enough cerebral energy to make the stone operate on only negligible or dangerous levels, something like a Neanderthal with a laser computer. Preparing myself for the eventual possession of the stone, I constructed a machine to magnify the impulses of my already advanced brain. Imagine the changes that would be wrought with this stone and my machine. Think big, Mr. Murphy. Do not be constrained by the practical. The practical is the refuge of the mediocre. Mr. Murphy, have you ever desired to be a god, to create worlds, to experience utter dominion? Wouldn't you like to be able to control the destinies of peoples, planets, even universes? Mr. Murphy, you are about to witness supreme, omnipotent, absolute power. Alright, I have a feeling probably supposed to do something important here. Okay. I should probably save my game as like Big Dick or something. Because Thomas Dangerfield seems like a big dick. Let's see. There's control box for the mesh force field surrounding your cage. Oh, good. So I guess I need to get at that somehow. And what's this? What's this? A bolt passes through the top of the chamber. Alright, can I get it? Can't take that. You try to extract the bolt with your fingers, but are unable to. You clamp down onto the bolt with your teeth and slowly turn it free. What a man. Okay. If that's how you want to define manhood. Alright, Alexis, I'm gonna need your help if I want to pull this off.
Do something, Tex.
I'm thinking. Or I'm out of ideas. Can you think of something?
Think faster.
Try distracting him.
I'll try.
Alright, oh great, so you're gonna strip here? That's how you're gonna distract him. Dangerfield's experiment backfires. It releases a demon from his subconscious which destroys the entire planet. Alright, I guess that was the bad ending. What Wizard says? Oh no, you've been kidnapped by a pirate. The whole plan was dependent on good old Johnny Fedora. And then, the world of the future, where everyone is horny all the time. It seems so. It seems so. Okay. Okay. Time to try that again, I guess. Alright. I'm gonna look at this thing. I'm gonna get this thing. I'm gonna talk to her.
Do something, Tex.
Great.
Think faster. I'll try.
So, what I want to see if I can do is if I can get an article of her clothing that I might be able to use to sling the bolt at the... Come on. At the lock back here. Trollman is too far away for you to hit by throwing the bolt. Yeah. Do
something, Tex? You're asking me? No. What a hairball. Do something, Tex?
Thinking.
Well, think faster.
Yeah. Try distracting him.
I'll try.
I'm trying to... Okay. Alright, I don't know how to I don't know what to do from here. Yeah, I just don't know. Oh, gosh. The thing that makes this weird is that I peeked at a guide, and I know that this is the solution to this puzzle, is getting her bra, but I have no idea. Because I know the way I'm supposed to do it is to have her distract him and grab it from her, but it's not showing up as something that I can actually take.
Do something, Tex?
Okay.
Well, think faster. Well, some hero you are.
Oh, hey, here's something. Wait a second, have you got anything with elastic in it?
Yes, I do.
Alright, this is how I get the bra. You gingerly take the jumbo bra. Great. Alright, use... bra with this thing. You take the bolt in the bra, pull it back, take aim, and let it fly. The bolt strikes the lever controlling the cage and shuts it off. Good. Okay. So what do I want to do from here? Go, go, go. I probably want to try to destroy this thing if I can, right? Tools... Tuning fork. You strike the tuning fork and touch the chamber glass. The glass shatters. You carefully pick up the stone. Alright. Once Dangerfield gets out of his chamber, he pulls out a weapon and lets you have it. Great. Alright, so... what next? I'm doing better, at least. So I want to get this thing and talk to Alexis.
Do something, Tex.
What Wizard says, how nice of you to give him to give you his weapon. That was nice of him.
Think faster. Well, some hero you are. Yes, I do.
Alright. Bra. It's a pretty tasteless puzzle. Whatever. Bolt. It's the bra. Oh, I need to take it. It doesn't just give it to me. Bra. This game has no right to take itself seriously, if it ever has. Okay. Bolt in the bra, let it fly. Open that up. Alright. Use... tuning fork. You strike the tuning fork and touch the chamber glass. The glass shatters. Alright, I'm gonna get this. You carefully pick up the stone. And I'm gonna go to the speedster. You grab Alexis and climb into the waiting speeder. Thomas Dangerfield's mad experiment of attempting to harness the stone's power ended his life. Dangerfield was a decent human being once, but was driven insane by his quest for the ultimate power. Alexis and I decide that Deacon Hawk is the only logical choice for the stone. We arrive at the temple where she is waiting for us. She turns and whispers, "You have returned the stone to the Mistress of the Light. You have surely saved the world from annihilation, but you must continue to be diligent. Mankind may yet prove to be the author of his own demise. Reverence life. Protect the living things and recycle. And now for the safety of mankind. I must take the stone. Perhaps someday, when the human race is ready, it will be returned. Until then, farewell."
What was that about?
I don't know, but how about a hot dog and a beer from Weenie World?
Ah,
Ooh, sounds good to me.
a hot dog and beer from Weenie World. The way every great adventure ends, I suppose. No end credits? Well, that was Tex Murphy Martian Memorandum. Hope you enjoyed it. So... how does it compare to the first game? As I think the only question I can really ask here. I mean, it's bad. There's no way around that. This is a poor game for reasons that are probably abundant and that I've probably mentioned before. Anyone who's watched this playthrough knows that this is not a very good game. And, you know, it fails for all the reasons that I've mentioned before. It fails because the interface is bad. It fails because the puzzles are mostly arduous. Not always. They range from being utterly inscrutable, like the bra end puzzle, to just being completely arduous, like navigating around lasers and other crap like that. The interface and the menus, while a slight improvement from the last game, make it really hard to solve the puzzles, which would be hard to solve simply for their poor design, even if the interface were excellent. But yeah, aside from all of that, the writing's not very good, and the plot is, I think, maybe it's about as confusing as the plot for the previous game. The characters at the beginning, I think, are a little bit better fleshed out, than in the first game. But it seems like as it went on, it started to come apart a lot more. At the beginning, they had a lot more voice acting and so forth, and near the end, it was a lot of text boxes and stuff that we were more familiar with seeing in the 80s and with the previous game in the series. But yeah, I guess, honestly, I think on first blush, this game was a lot better than the last one. But if I'm just comparing them as artifacts of the past, I think the first one's probably a little bit more important because it doubles down on the things that makes it unique from other adventure games. In terms of the interrogating, questioning, moving from place to place, and kind of trying to simulate the life of a cyberpunk detective. But in this game, rather than doubling down on the things that make it unique, it more tries to be a standard point-and-click adventure game, and in that endeavor, it fails pretty badly. So while the first one was not a success, at least it was doing something original, at least for the time. Whereas this one is not only not really doing anything original, it's also just not very well made. Sorry, I don't... It doesn't necessarily bring me pleasure to bash games. I'm sure that the people who worked on this were serious about it and put a lot of hard work into it, but I don't think that excuses it from its problems. But anyways, I've heard good things about the next chapter of Tex Murphy. What's it called? It's like Under a Killing Moon, I think is the title. And it's actually, I think, the game that is sort of set the tone for the remainder of the Tex Murphy series, which I think is 6 games long. So starting with 3, we get something that is much more heavy on the full motion video and sets the tone for the rest of the series, which I'm looking forward to. But in the meantime, I think this is going to be my last Tex Murphy game for a little while. I'm going to go back and play a few other games, jumping around between some other Sierra LucasArts staples, also wanting to get into Revolution Software, which is the company behind the Broken Age game, or not Broken Age, the Broken Sword games, and Beneath a Steel Sky. But I'm going to play, I think the next game I'm going to play tomorrow is going to be The Lure of the Temptress, which is a game by Revolution Studios. I hope I'm remembering their name correctly. But yeah, I will be back with that tomorrow, and even though this wasn't one of the better games that I've played on this stream, I hope you enjoyed watching me stroll through it. So have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.